Hi, I'm Ginger, and I'm going to talk about a very important subject today, which is the Hebrew roots movement and how we need to be very careful not to fall into it. Some people are not into it as deep as others, and God knows if they've crossed that line. Some people claim to be with Yeshua, that's the Hebrew name for Jesus, and they still do the feast days and things, and I really don't know where Jesus makes that line, but I sure don't want to get close to it. So I don't do the feast days because of Colossians 2:15 through 17, and I do not do the old covenant um, Torah observant lifestyle or the old covenant Sabbath keeping. Okay, because I know that we will fall from grace if we try to be justified by the old covenant law. Galatians 5:4 speaks about that. So we're going to read in Matthew chapter 16, and it's Jesus speaking, and I'll start in 4. A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given unto it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. And he left them and departed. So we need to not seek after these signs. A lot of these people are doing that, and it's grieving the heart of God. We are not to be adulterous in that way, or in the actual adultery. We're not to commit adultery in any way whatsoever. Verse 5, and when his disciples were come to the other side, they had forgotten to take bread. Then Jesus said unto them, take heed and beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the Sadducees. See, these Pharisees wore their zeets, and they did these prayers so people could hear them, so they could get their pats on the back, and they did these hand washings, and they wouldn't eat pork, and they were so self-righteous. And Jesus wanted to throw up. These are the people that wanted Jesus dead, that thought Jesus was a blasphemer. And a lot of these people nowadays in the Hebrew roots movement are just as bad as these Pharisees during Jesus' time. When I used to be in the Hebrew roots movement, sadly, I used to be in it for like 3 years. I went to this one house, and they even did the hand washing, the old covenant hand washing. They had this pitcher of water, and people got in a line and washed their hands under this water, and they had the braided bread at the table and all these, you know, listen, people. When Jesus said to walk in the newness of life, he meant it. Read Hebrews 7:19. You don't want to become a Pharisee or a Sadducee. And these Hebrew roots people, some of them actually get so into Judaism that they let go of Yeshua. They let go of the Savior of the world, and that's where they have become fallen from grace, because they thought that the old covenant law would justify them, and they thought they didn't need Jesus anymore, or that Jesus wasn't even, uh, you know, they may think that he hasn't even come yet. I mean, I know a person that got so deep into the Hebrew roots movement, sadly, he thought that men had to be circumcised in the flesh to get to go to heaven. Read Romans chapter 3, and you'll find out that only our heart needs to be circumcised. Men and women need their heart circumcised. Men, you don't circumcise your flesh to please God now. You circumcise your heart. Women and men, circumcise your heart, meaning let go of the sin and follow Jesus, receive Jesus, and obey Jesus. Verse 7, and they reasoned among themselves, saying, it is because we have taken no bread. Which when Jesus perceived, he said unto them, O ye of little faith, why reason ye among yourselves, because ye have brought no bread? Do ye not yet understand, neither remember the 5 loaves of the 5,000, and how many baskets ye took up? Neither the 7 loaves of the 4,000, and how many baskets ye took up? How is it that ye do not understand that I spake it not to you concerning bread, that ye should beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the Sadducees? So he's telling them it's not the natural bread I'm talking about. I'm talking about the leaven of the Pharisees, the doctrines of the Pharisees and Sadducees. Stay away from it. Stay away from the Hebrew roots movement. Stay away from the old covenant Torah observant lifestyle. It's a sin to get under that. We rest in Jesus now. Our Sabbath is Jesus Christ. He went to these Pharisees too, and they wouldn't come to him. And he even said that. He said, you won't come to me. And nowadays, these people, they think that they have to do the old covenant Sabbath. Well, what if their pilot light is on their kitchen? They've already broken it, because you're not supposed to light a light. Are they doing animal sacrifices? No, they pick and choose. You got to be careful of this heresy that's out there. So now I'm going to flip over to Galatians 5:4. Hi, Selah. That's my granddaughter. Say hi. I like your cup of water. Oh, you got food? What food did you get? Is it a cookie? Is it a cookie? Okay, so I want to read Galatians 5:4 because this really opened my eyes to bring me out of it. So there we go. Let's get started. Galatians 5:4. Christ is become of no effect unto you. Whosoever of you are justified by the law, by Selah, ye are fallen from grace. Do you want to fall from grace? Well, guess what? You could. If you get into that Hebrew roots movement, or if you want to call it the Torah observant lifestyle, if you get into that so deep, you could fall from grace. Yeah, fall from grace. I wouldn't even go near that movement. Don't go near that movement. It's like a sinkhole. It will suck you right down into that sinkhole and you'll be gone. I warn you because I was in it and my eyes were blinded. And then thankfully I kept reading the New Testament and God showed me through reading the New Testament. Okay, so I'm going to read Colossians 2. Let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of an holy day or of the new moon or of the Sabbath days, which are a shadow of things to come, but the body is of Christ. Let no man beguile you of your reward in a voluntary humility and worshiping of angels, intruding into those things which he hath not seen, vainly puffed up by his fleshly mind. So the feast and the Sabbath was until Christ came. A lot of these people in the Hebrew roots movement, they keep the feast from Leviticus 23. Yeah, but are they sacrificing animals? They aren't sacrificing animals because they pick and choose. They just want to do the feast days and then think that they're justified by that. No, that does not justify you, people. It does not. God's not impressed. God's impressed when you receive his son, like it says in John 1:12, and then you obey the teachings of Jesus. Because Jesus said in John 14:15, if you love me, keep my commandments. Keep my commandments. I'm going to close with one more verse. And this is a very important verse that helped me when I was coming out of that mess, that Hebrew roots movement. Okay, so now I'm going to read it. For the law made nothing perfect, but the bringing in of a better hope did, by the which we draw nigh unto God. The law, the old covenant law, made nothing perfect. Nothing perfect. But the bringing in of a better hope did. That's Jesus Christ in the New Testament. You can still read the Old Testament. I do. And you read the New Testament. But live under the New Testament. Walk in the newness of life. Okay, thank you for listening. God bless all who seek after God with all their heart, mind, soul, and strength.